And hey, well, this is Francisco from Wondershare Dr. Phone, and the iPad Air came out recently, and it really piqued my interest considering how much it looks like the 2018 iPad Pro. But it's $200 cheaper than the iPad Pro and has some features that I never thought I would be seeing on the iPad again. So today, I've got a full review ready, and I've got a lot of praise and some disappointments that I would like to share with you all. So let's go ahead and dive right in. And the exterior design consists of aluminum and glass on the front. This iPad features a pair of stereo speakers on the bottom, a USB-C port, the magnetic latch for the Apple Pencil on the right, and the single camera module on the back. We also have Touch ID on the sleep-wake button instead of Face ID like we do on the iPad Pro models. And the bezels are also going to be just a little bit thicker than what we're used to from seeing the iPad Pro models that we've been seeing since 2018. And that is certainly going to be a little bit easier to notice than Touch ID for sure, if you're looking at them side by side. However, I do like this design for the Air, as I am a big fan of the Pro, so I'm glad that they went in this direction. This iPad features a liquid retina IPS display, specifically a 10.9-inch 1640 by 2360 resolution display that runs at 60 Hz. That's not to say that the iPad Air feels sluggish because of it, and in fact, it still feels very smooth to use for just about any task, and watching videos on this is a total joy. And thanks to the high resolution panel, you do get a great viewer experience, and even with the lower quality panel, technically speaking that is, in comparison to the iPad Pro, you still get a great drawing experience here too. This is also going to be a great upgrade from the previous Air models in many ways, and the quality of this display is a very welcome addition to exactly that. This iPad features a stereo speaker setup with 2 speakers at the bottom. After some listening with music and videos, I'm happy to report that they sound pretty good. So go ahead and have a listen. The internals aren't going to be compatible with absolutely everything that you come across, even if it is compatible with Mac OS. So I would say that there is going to be This iPad features an Apple A14 Bionic CPU, an embedded Apple GPU, 4 gigs of RAM, 64 gigs of storage, and that is going to be specifically for the base model. A 1640 by 2360 resolution display, and about 10 hours of battery life I would say, a 12 megapixel 4K 60 rear-facing camera, and a 7 megapixel 1080p 60 front-facing camera. And speaking of the cameras, they're going to be pretty good here, and I'm talking about both the rear and the front-facing cameras, that is. Since it is going to be a tablet, on the rear you do get up to 4K 60, and the front-facing camera records at up to 1080p at 60 frames per second, taking a greater focus on the camera, of course. It is certainly more suitable for calls, and even if you wanted to use it for photos or anything like that, it is just going to be a great option nonetheless. Gaming performance was exactly what I expected, and it's really good. I played a little bit of Asphalt 9 and performance was smooth as the game ran at 60 frames per second. And now the gaming experience is quite nice, due in part to the very beautiful display, of course, and the powerful speakers. But if you're looking to game on the iPad Air, then I think you're going to have a very great experience here. And that was when we get a little bit more detailed when it comes to productivity software, which means that we will be talking about the Apple Pencil a little bit more and taking that into account when it comes to performance with certain software. So things like Affinity Photo, for instance, which is going to be my preferred photo editor on the iPad. This is going to be, again, a very smooth offering here, and it offers a lot of tools for working with images and getting some nice, and I really do mean like professional level work depending on how skilled you are as well. And the Apple Pencil helps a lot in getting more precise with the fine-tuned adjustments, and Procreate felt very smooth, and I was very comfortable drawing on the iPad Air with it. I don't feel held back at all like I thought that I was going to be, and if you want the iPad Air for drawing and photo editing, then you're going to have a pretty great experience for sure, as we saw with Affinity Photo, for instance. Those two are just going to perform very well. And the precision of the Apple Pencil here is honestly really great, and palm rejection is still some of the best that you're going to get in the entire tablet industry as well. The Apple Pencil can get very precise with fine line work and even shading incredibly nicely if you really wanted to. It does take a little bit of practice, but it is a great combination to use. But if you're a video editor in particular, then LumaFusion is the tool that you're looking for. I edited a video using only 4K clips and some transitions with very minor color work and audio work, and I had to say that working on this software didn't feel quite as smooth, but it was still very smooth, at the very least when you compare it to the iPad Pro, which has a 120Hz display. And that's really the only reason why it didn't feel quite as smooth, because I'm used to working on the iPad Pro. And my edits aren't too complicated, but still can be pretty intensive at times, and 4K is typically difficult to handle for most tablets, and this iPad handles the footage with so much ease, and I really love that. Now let's talk about battery life, which is also very good here. You do get at around 10 hours of battery life here, but it does depend on what you're doing, which can really significantly affect battery life, especially if you're gaming or editing videos on this device. So do keep that in mind, but this is a really great deal in my opinion. And so in closing, the iPad Air 4 is one of my favorite tablets of this year, and I think that it is a great tablet for the price that I can absolutely recommend it to the vast majority of people. And then what did you think about the iPad Air? Go ahead and let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and leave us a like if you like this video. Also, do not forget to subscribe for more reviews just like this one moving forward. So with that said, until next time, enjoy.